Sweet, beautiful souls, hello and welcome back. How do we help the world? How do we aid in our collective when it's struggling so much? But we're a highly sensitive person, and we too are struggling in the midst of witnessing it all. That is what we're going to be diving into today. So, something that has been on my heart for a long time. Honestly, here's the thing. The shifts, the changes, the wars, the everything that we see happening on our planet right now um, is a reflection of our current, the collective state of consciousness. Okay. And this, you probably know this to some degree, but something that I really struggled with and grappled with over the years is like, how do I help without without entangling, right? There's a difference between helping in the problem and entangling with the problem. Where we're at in our collective, I think this message is going to be really important because I don't believe that we're done. And here's the thing, no matter when it is in human history, there's going to be problems. Now, whether we're going to be in intense problems, those come and go. But right now, I don't believe we're done. And this isn't to put fear into the collective or any of that, but rather I want you to be well equipped, well prepared, and ultimately centered in your heart for anything that is to come. So, as a highly sensitive person, which I'm sure if you're listening and watching, you are to some degree, it can be really difficult to actually support when you can literally feel the weight of the world and the heaviness simply when you tune in for 2 seconds. I get it. Okay. And for many years, for me, I would my whole nervous system and body just could not even handle it. Like I would just have to and I still do, but there's a difference in awareness that I have around it now, but just retreat off into nature and just shut everything out. Now, don't get me wrong, I still think that's important. But again, there's a difference between going running away versus I'm doing this to support me and my nervous system. So that's why I really want to begin is we actually can't support the collective, the world, friends, family, anyone if we ourselves are depleted, running on empty, or have not really done work on our nervous system. Times like these, the biggest thing I think that they trigger and stress is our nervous system. And even if people don't look like their nervous systems are taxed, I really honestly feel like the majority of people are in fight or flight right now. And when you're in fight or flight, you can't make good decisions. You can't know what to do. You can't even really help people because you're running on cortisol. You're running on the stress hormone. You're running on inadequate fuel that is not linked to your heart. But when you take a deep breath, sends the signal to your body, mind, and soul that you're safe right here and now. You're safe. My guess is you're not wherever all of the craziness is right now, but it's inevitable that, not inevitable, but um no, I think it is inevitable that at some point in time there will be some chaos in any type of magnitude, on any type of magnitude on the scale. I don't know if I said that right. You know what I'm saying though. On various degrees of magnitude on the scale. We're all going to experience struggle in our lives. That's inevitable. And so, how can we calibrate ourselves and our nervous system so that we're prepared for anything? So that when people need our help, we're there to support them. So what I really come to see and feel really called to share is that everyone, God is in everything. God's source divine is in everything. Now, it's very clear that God's source divine has forgotten in many instances, in many cases, who they are. And when we can see another through the lens that they've truly forgotten who they are, this like makes me emotional. We can have so much compassion and rather than anger, actually like sadness for another, that they've forgotten so deeply that they are able to do these horrendous acts, right? And that having anger towards them or malice or even judgment, it doesn't solve anything. It doesn't create a solution. It doesn't create any peace or harmony. It simply actually adds energy to that. And that's where I really want to shine light on as well, is like war or protests and riots and all of these things that we see going on, again, like no judgment, but who was it that said that quote, we can't solve a problem from the same consciousness that created it? I want you to just envision for a moment, like, what is the energy behind protesting and like these, I don't know, I see them out outside my window and I just send them love. I send them love because like the honking and the, again, I know it's well intentioned and I know it's rooted in wanting change and I know it's rooted in a desire to stand up for rights, and I get that. But and that, I guess, there is a way to peaceful protest, but I don't see a lot of the protests being quite peaceful. And so if we actually want to shift a problem, and this goes for any problem in your life, it doesn't have to be a collective problem, any problem in your life, we have to shift our consciousness. We have to shift our vibration, our frequency, right? And so for instance, like just this morning, like I was kind of in a funk and I was like, oh, this just feels icky. Like I feel off. And I was like, okay, shift it. Let's shift it. Like do something to shift yourself. So what do? So I go for a walk. I turn on some music. I dance. I shake my body, right? Like, okay, now I feel refreshed. Now I feel like I can actually make a decision. Whereas before it was like sticky and like moving through mud. So it's like, if we want to actually create change and shift things, like what's the frequency you want to see? If chaos is happening, fighting it with chaos is probably only going to create more chaos. Okay. So what do you want to see? If you want to see peace and joy and love, like how can you actually send peace and joy and love? This doesn't mean you just sit and meditate all day, but perhaps you ask, like, God source divine, show me how I may be a conduit of your love, of your grace, of your truth, of your truth. Because perhaps the greatest use of your gifts is, and one of the greatest things that you could do is to simply just tell someone hello, simply wave to someone, simply give someone a compliment, help someone out. We truly just have no idea, like the ripple effect that just helping one person or doing one good thing. Like we think we have to like be the president in order to make change, and this isn't the case. It's really not the case. We have so many opportunities throughout our day, and like something that I have been in the habit of doing every morning, and this isn't to tell you to do it, but I learned this from Richard Rudd of Gene Keys, like years ago, of just like asking, like, show me how to be of the greatest service to the whole. Show me how to be of the greatest service to the whole. And so like asking, like, where is my light needed? Like, how can I support? How can I give? And also like remembering this has to come from like a nourished space and place from within. Otherwise, we're only fueling the collective fight or flight. So, you know, and I saw someone who I deeply like look up to and respect, and who's quite known. I saw them share on social media um that they just said, I can't believe, or I can't imagine promoting products or promoting any type of services or courses or anything right now when our collective is going through this. And my whole body kind of like contracted when I heard that and felt that, not because I think poorly or badly of her in any way. And I totally understand like her process and her wherever she's at in her journey, and that's true for her. But what I'd like to offer as a counter to that is it's actually one of the greatest things you could be doing right now is whatever your light in the world is, like sharing that, whether that's through your courses, your programs, your work that you believe isn't that impactful. Like it is, it all matters. Like, okay, for example, I was thinking just yesterday morning, I was thinking I need to get my car in to get, you know, I don't even know, car stuff. It's not my realm of expertise. But thank goodness, there are people who know how to fix cars. Thank goodness. And so while they're, you know, like, and I don't want to project this onto any car mechanics, but there could be a car mechanic that says, with everything going on in the world, what am I doing to aid in the collective ascension? What am I doing to raise the vibration and raise the consciousness? Well, let me tell you, sir, ma'am, there's some women. I have had some of the most profound experiences of my life from the places that my car has taken me. Now, have I had profound experiences without a car? Yes. Just in my place? Yes. But I've downloaded and received and connected and opened and activated and expanded myself in like beyond ways that I could ever imagine, simply by just going places, you know? So like also like a flight attendant, also what's the pilot, the places that I've traveled to, also the person who works at the front desk at the airport who checked my bag, also the person who, I know if you don't live in Oregon, you're gonna not like this, but the person who put gas in my car. People have like a weird thing. I don't know. When I moved to Oregon and people started putting gas in my car, I was like, this is amazing. I don't want to touch that. But like, yes, I could have put gas in my car, but like the gas station, like all of these people have aided in my growth. So like, who's to say that these aren't incredibly important roles? Like we all are adding our own wisdom and our own magic and our own unique love, our own unique code to the world. We're all adding our own unique code to the world through whatever we're good at. I'm not good at any of those things. None of them. I don't know how to fix cars. I don't know how to fly a plane. I could probably figure out how to be a flight attendant, but I don't want to. Right? So like all of these things, but there are some people who love this and they're so good at it. Like they're so good at it. And this is what I'm saying, that it's like everything matters. So like I can't imagine people just stopping doing what they're good at because something is happening in the world. So I can't imagine that. Like, what if every time there was something happening, people just were like, we're all not going to work. Now, is there a time and a place for like making a stance for sure. But what I'm saying is like you offering your magic in the world that helps people in whatever way, I think it's actually one of the greatest things we could be doing. And this doesn't mean we're turning a blind eye. It means that we're doing what we know. And here's the thing, for some people, that may be their role, to stop doing everything and just like spread awareness. That may be their role. Now, on the topic of awareness, how do we be aware but not in it? This is what I have really been like discerning and learning over the years is like awareness versus entangling. Now, I think there could be the perception, perhaps, when I always say, like, don't watch the news. I still stand by that. Don't watch the news. Of course, it's your choice. But I'm of the belief if something big is happening in the world, I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out. Go on social media. I'm going to find out. So if something's really big, I'm going to find out. Now, do I need to know the details of it? Absolutely not. I really don't. I know that there is horrendous things happening. Do I want to know the details? Absolutely not. That's too hard for my sensitive soul to hear that. My mom told me that she heard Dave Asprey say, and I think this is so spot on, to not watch the news because it's literally like porn. It's like porn. What you're doing is activating your stress response. You're playing this movie that is not, it is, it's being shown to you in a way to ignite your fear response, to put you into fight or flight so you're not good at making decisions. And it literally activates the same centers in our brain. Think about that for a moment. Activates the same centers in our brain, just in a weird, pleasurable sort of way that as humans we actually have, but it's highly addicting. It's highly addicting because once we see it, we want to know more, and we feel like we need to know more. We feel like we need to be informed. Why do you need to be informed? Here's the thing. When we watch something, we are energizing it. Right now, you listening and watching me, thank you. You're energizing this message. Whatever you are putting your focus and energy and attention towards, you're energizing. Like, think about that all throughout your day. Whatever you are listening to, tuning into, watching, speaking with, you are putting energy to. So if we have millions of people watching the news, we're actually creating a larger issue. A larger issue, because if we're seeing the fear, we are actually sending the fear that we're feeling towards the problem. This is literally like how I see it energetically. I'm not saying this is hard science, any of that, but this is how I see it energetically. Of there's this really intense problem happening, and when we see it, we feel fear. We're sending fear, thus amplifying and growing it. So like, what if we could do the complete opposite of that? What if we could do the opposite of that? Something that I do, I don't know if I should share this. I guess it came to me, so I'm going to share it. Because I don't want to tell you like what to do, but like a practice that I do every single night is I just bring to mind someone, something, and I also have like my template of like always that I just send energy to. I just send love to. And just sending love to the earth, sending love to the city, to the world, to the people of the world. And then specific people, if I feel called, like, and I just ask if their soul is open to receive it, that they receive it. And that's what I want to energize. I want to energize God, source, divine's love. I want to energize the remembrance of our truth. I want to energize acting and living from a place of love, from a place of our hearts, from helping each other out in whatever way we can and know. This doesn't mean we all have to be on stage preaching about what to do, right? Like I shared, like the person who is flying the plane or putting gas in a car or helping repair cars or checking me out at the grocery store, that I have food to nourish my body. Like, bless you. Bless whoever drove that food to the store. Like, bless you. My gosh, because we all need each other. We all need each other so much. And we all have, oh my gosh. And it's, I'm like, just looking at this uh, as I look out my window for 2 seconds, a plumbing truck drives by. Like, bless you. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do plumbing and pipe stuff. Bless it. Like, we could say, like, what's a plumber doing for consciousness? What are you going to do if, how high is your consciousness going to be if there's a bunch of backed up toilets and there's nowhere to go to the bathroom? Like, we all need each other. We all need each other. And this is what I'm saying. And so when we see people who have forgotten their connection to God, source, divine, like, how do we simply just send them love and see them in that, not see them as like in malice or fear or terror or that they're a bad person. It's just they've just forgotten. And and they're playing their role in this collective cosmic game. They're playing their role. And like perhaps they're working out their own karma and eating in your karma in some way too. Like we all need each other. Like as crazy as that sounds, like someone really triggering you could be the catalyst for you healing your karma. Like we just could never even imagine like the intricacy of how this divine quilt is being woven. We just could never even comprehend. And I don't believe we have to understand it all, but we can trust it all. And that's where like doing this work on yourself is truly one of the greatest things you can do. It's truly one of the greatest things you can do. This is why I created the miracle frequency. And perhaps this was my own perception, but when I see people having these comments of like, I can't imagine selling anything during this time, I'm like, you have to see the larger picture. If I live in the frequency of miracles, magic, and synchronicities, what is that going to open up for me? And if we're all a reflection of each other, what is that going to open up for me? Well, then I'm like going to be in a really good mood and I might be led because I'm going to feel good in my body. I'm going to be led to go to this certain place at this certain time and meet the certain person who I'm able to actually help out. And I'm actually able, like, I can't even tell you how many quote random people I've met who have like, oh my gosh, I've been needing a hypnotherapist. Like, I can't believe we're meeting right now. Or like I'm meeting and they're like, I need like I've been looking for someone to do energy work. Like, or like just these random things that like I would have never been there had I just like not trusted my intuition and like been in this like flow and dance with life. Right. Like, but if we're just like operating from here, from our mind and like in fight or flight, you're not going to be led there. And even if you are, you're probably not going to be tuned in to the opportunities that are presenting themselves to you because every single moment of every single day of every single second is an opportunity to commune, to dance with divine, to be of service to God, source divine, to live our truth, to remember deeper layers and aspects of our truth, which our truth is always going to be rooted in love. Our truth is always going to be rooted in love. Because love is who and what we all are. It's what everything is. It's all leading back to love, even if it's chaos on the way. Right? Like, you're going to be led. You're going to be led. So, if you haven't joined the miracle frequency, this is a beautiful place to start, to be in the frequency of magic, miracles, and synchronicities, to be in divine flow with love, with God, with Source Divine, to activate these cells within you to remember your truth that is love. And when you emanate this, you are healing the planet. You are helping others. You are helping not only yourself, you helping yourself is helping others. Period. The end. This is why you doing the deeper work on yourself is one of the greatest gifts and acts that we can give to the world. It's like, gosh, Power versus Force was such a catalyst and transformational book by David Hawkins for me. The energy between force versus power, there's so much more to the book, so I highly recommend it. And levels of consciousness, is he talks about that in there, but like, there is a power in who we be when we're healed. Force may get us temporary results, but it's never going to lead to the true abundance and expansion and fulfillment, the lasting truth. We can cultivate our inner power through releasing trauma, through calibrating our nervous system, through being in the miracle frequency. We can do this. So if you haven't signed up for the miracle frequency, I'm going to put the links below for that. Could not recommend it anymore. And I may just be adding more things to it. So I've already added an incredible miracle money activation. So stay tuned for more. And as it grows, the price will increase. So get in while you can. And continue to trust, though, just where you're led. Like, if that feels good to you, jump in. If going and doing something, seeing some person, saying hello to them and helping them, like, follow, it feels good for you in each moment. And listen with your heart. Listen with your heart, not with your mind. If you saw my last video, we're moving into heart-led. So follow your heart. Follow what your heart is leading and guiding you towards, because that is where the magic is. That is how we help others. That is how we actually raise the level of consciousness of our planet, and how we actually help our divine brothers and sisters. So with that, my loves, I'm sending you all so much love.